Good morning, everyone, or good evening if you are in another part of the world from California. And we are talking about the Feng Shui and Flying Star for the month of September. And we're specifically going to be talking about the Northeast sector today. Hello, everyone. If you're new to me, my name is Kathleen Zemansky, and I'm a business Feng Shui master, business astrologer, and the creator of the TimeBlazr business management system. So this is a suite of metaphysical tools to help you have a competitive edge in this very chaotic world that we are experiencing right now. So if you are new to me, we would love for your support by subscribing to our channel, liking the content if you like it, and then if you really like it, please leave a comment below and let us know what you specifically liked about it and how I might help you with these Chinese metaphysical tools. So, there is a holistic view of looking at, when we look at Chinese metaphysics, the classical feng shui model, we are really looking at this particular model here, not actually the metal rat, but we are looking at this particular model here of person, space, and time. And this is really what I do with all of my clients. It's a very personalized system to help you get very unique, not cookie cutter. Don't really know what happened with the translation of when feng shui originally came over to the United States, but truly you need to figure out what's happening in a person's life. That's the astrology. Then you take that information, what is either trending either up or down, and then we use, so it's kind of like the prescription, the diagnosis, if you will. The prescription is going to be found in the space. So where do you go so you can have the most vibrancy as possible? And we always trigger the energy on a good day and time. So when you do this holistically, you have exponential results in your space. Since we are sheltering in space because of COVID and some parts of the country, truthfully, it was the first day in 28 days that I was actually able to let the outside air in because of the heavy, dangerous, hazardous smoke that we had because of wildfires. But mentioning that, it was a really breath of relief for me because that's where the feng shui originates. It's outside. So getting that energy to come in again, even though we have a pretty good feng shui setup here, unfortunately we had to deal with external forces that were outside of our control. I can control the feng shui of my space and I can do the best I can for the protection, but we also have this surrounding energy that we really actually have very little control of once we're in this very critical either pandemic and or fires, hurricanes that we've got on the East Coast, and then other things that are happening along the way. External forces, we do the best we can to manage them. We manage our own energy by, either be very selective about the things that you are choosing to watch, choosing the things you put into your body. But again, I believe that your space is a very important aspect of your life. Okay, but let's talk just a second about your astrology. The first thing that I would like you to do is download your astrology chart, because when you understand what's happening in your chart, you are going to have a much better knowledge, much better knowing of what's actually happening for you. And so when we look at the natal chart, and that's where that's what we're going to be talking about today, is when we're looking at the natal chart, we're looking at the year, month, day, and hour of birth. So you're much more than the I was born in the year of, when you fill in the blank with the 12 animals, pig, rat, goats, etc. So what we're trying to figure out, though, is how the metal rat, which has been causing quite a bit of havoc in people's lives, businesses, emotions, health, relationships, it's really been very taxing for a lot of people. And I truly believe using these metaphysical tools can help us get back into a more harmonious path, but it's not without some some effort. So this is not a quick fix. This is going to be working over time. The quicker you get started with this, the quicker your space is going to respond to you. So first thing we have to do is personalize it to you. And that's why we look at your astrology chart. So the year of birth, that represents your social circles. It represents your the people that you hang out with. You know, they say the 5 people that you hang out with are a sum total of who you are. So really be selective of who you are hanging out with, because sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know. So really level up your networking, level up your networks, level up your brand awareness by, you know, social media, advertising, marketing, whatever that means in your world. That's what this represents. Now, I need to tell you that I really focus on business more than personal, although why are we working so hard? So we can have more freedom in our life. So really it's, again, a holistic system. I really can't take out a personal aspects, because things that will affect your life could very well be these external forms, could be things that are happening in your workplace, things that are happening in your home. All of this is affected right now more than ever. It always has, but now we're really on the pulse of, we know that all of these things are intertwined. With that said, I still focus on business, but all of these pillars have a very strong personal flow as well. Now, the month of birth is about your career and your character, what you're best suited at doing in the workplace. Your day of birth is going to be about your partnerships and your mindset. So this is something that I talk about quite a bit. And then the hour of birth, if you know it, is going to be about your it's about your brainstorming, your goals, and it's also about, you know, your legacies. What is it that you were destined to do on this earth? A lot of people don't really actually know what that is. So doing a personal reading can certainly help with that. Now, what do we do with that? We find out what those energies are and how they are behaving or not in the year of the metal rat. So what I have done is I have linked below the month of September, which is the rooster month. I've linked below the rooster video. So if you have a rooster in your chart, go ahead and listen to that one. Otherwise, just go to my YouTube channel and put in 2020 and then put in whatever animal it is, a horse, a dog, a monkey, dragon, etc. Put in those and those of the people that you are sheltering in place with. And that way, you're going to have a better understanding of why they are acting the way that they are. So compassion goes a long way. Your own actions go a long way. And so when you have a better understanding why people may be behaving the way they are, you yourself, like, what the heck? Why did I blow up at this certain thing? Well, it could very well be one of the animals are poking you a little bit in this particular month or another month along the way. Everything that I do, by the way, is very time sensitive. I don't want you to hit the save for watch later button. I want you to watch it now and implement it now. Get going now if you are really serious about getting back into balance, or maybe you have already found a little bit of balance in this chaos of the whole chaos theory. Things start falling into place. Maybe you're just ready to take your life, your personal and business life, to the next level. This can absolutely help you as well. All right, the next piece that we're going to be looking at is the space. So this is the annual flying star, and we are looking at the number 1 that's located in the northeast. So for those of you who are just beginning with me today and just finding me today, you're going to know that we've already talked about the central palace where the 7 is located. Then I went to the southeast and went in a clockwise direction to now we're in the northeast, and our last day tomorrow we'll be talking about the east. So what is the prevailing energy in the Northeast? It really is about helpful people. If you are looking for a coach, a mentor, an advisor, it's someone really to help you, because truthfully, when you start being vulnerable enough to express what you're doing to the world and asking for help on how to do something better, believe me, no matter where you're at in life, somebody knows a little bit more than you do about what you're trying to figure out. So why don't you use their resources to help you be a better person? in turn, then you can serve other people by helping other people. So it's really kind of this chain of command, right? So I have mentors, coaches that help me, and then I have taken the information and I'm helping others, and others are, with my information, is helping others along the way. So really that's a nice balance and exchange of energy where you're constantly improving yourself and taking that knowledge and then turning around and helping other people with it. So that's the prevailing energy of the month, of the year. Let's look at what happens when we put in the prevailing energy of the particular month. So now we're looking at a 4-1 combination. So what I want you to look at is the number 1 located on the right hand side of this chart. This is our annual energy, as well as all of the right hand numbers in this grid, and then the left hand number 4 in this case in the northeast. This is our monthly influence. So when we add these two together, they create a bit of a story. And I want you to also notice the icons that are located in the individual boxes as well. That the blue ones are going to be the ones that are positive, and the ones that are red are going to be the ones that are going to be more challenging. So as you can see, that we've got quite a few areas in the month of September that's really quite favorable for you to be using. So this is something that you can start looking at of, where can I place my body? So this is a more simplified version, but quite powerful, is when you're actually taking your body and moving it into one of these sectors. And you have a choice, right? You have a choice of going into where it's hazardous, where the red icons are at and the dangerous energy is at, and taking on that energy to collapse your business, your health, your relationships, finances, etc. Or you can make the choice and go into a sector that has more positive energy and then ramp up your health, your career, your personal relationships, and your communications. All of these start really shifting when you get into that energetic flow. So remember, we're working with the subtle energies. You don't really see them. Sometimes you can feel them. I mean, come on, let's face it. You probably walked into the room after a very serious argument with something that you weren't even involved in, and you can walk in and go, whoa, wow, something's not right here. Conversely, you can walk into a happy space as well. Well, the energies of Feng Shui can be similar, but they're maybe not as obvious unless you're really attuned to energy. If you are attuned to energy, then maybe your body will already be the receptor of that. But for those who need a little bit more formulaic description of it, this is where you'd want to be looking. All right, again, let's just have a quick look at this particular sector and what it has to offer. So this really is about dissipating energy. It's really just kind of falling apart, and it denotes a time of uncertainty and being blown off course. So you really have to kind of watch kind of your timelines, your plans that you have put into place. Are they really still on track? So obviously we got thrown off track the last 6 months here. So is it something that you really want to continue, or is it time to just let it go? So this can be kind of overwhelming. You could be full of distractions. Indecision is really kind of a killer, if you will. I know personally, when I'm toiling over, should I take this direction or should I take the other direction, or somewhere in between? Oh gosh, that's the time for me that is. It's exciting because you get to explore different possibility, but until I've made a decision, it's still that uncomfortableness. Once I made the decision, boom, I can take it to the next level, but it's just making those decisions. So this is kind of the energy that is kind of there. It puts you in this uncertain area where things are just kind of falling apart. So it may mean the end of something, like the end of a project, a partnership. So there is something to be said about endings as well. You can take the high road and do it well, or you can be, a jerk about it and be a victim and point the finger and all of that. So we don't want that. We want you to learn from any ending, whatever that may be, even good or bad. It's just like, a retrospect. How did that play out? What did I learn from it? How can I be better doing or being the next time around? So that's what it's good for as well. So, you may want to consider using the sector if you are really rebooting. Rebooting is not, and I say this with, you want to reboot everything. So, the universe sometimes is not real discerning about, when you say reboot and it's like, well, maybe it's a relationship and it's like, no, I want to hold on to that relationship. So if you have some attachment, again, to holding on to a certain outcome, this may not be the good sector, but if, you have nothing to lose, this could be a sector that you could use. But there's more comfortable ways, obviously, in my opinion, for you to get to that same means. Why don't you start using some of those good sectors? Like I said, like for example, in the Southeast, you could, be really working on your targets. You could be in the North, the Northwest, the West, and even in the Center Palace, the North Palace as well, to get a much more amicable and benevolent way of getting to what you actually want. All right, so now what I'd like to show you is the Flying Star dial for 2020. And again, this has got the annual energies on it, not the monthly, but so you'll just have to every single month, overlay that monthly energy that I'm describing to you. So first thing you need to do is, if you'd like to get those compass dials, I'm going to show you another one in just a second. You just go to freecompassdial.com. I've got the link below. You need to take an accurate compass reading. You need to get an accurate floor plan and then superimpose those dials over your floor plan. Okay, so the other dial that I want to talk to you about is the annual the annual Feng Shui dial. And the annual Feng Shui dials, as you can see in the Northeast, we have the ox, and it is a very, very good energy from a Feng Shui perspective. So it's just this particular month that can be a little wonky as far as the flying star, but that's why we layer a couple of things over the floor plan, because we want to make sure that we have all systems go, right? So it's just like when you go to school, you go for various different topics. Some topics you might be stronger in and some topics you might be weaker in. And so sometimes what we need to do is we need to give a little bit of help where we have the weaker areas, and you get like a tutor or something like that. Well, this is also true with the space where, sometimes some months are going to be weaker, so we're going to give it a little bit of rest. We're not going to use it as much, and then we're going to wait for a more opportune time to use that area. Now, it is not a bad area. You certainly can be in it because it definitely has some very nice Feng Shui potential. Again, it's very good for dissolving obstacles, for career choices, and it's definitely good for those mentors that I talked about before as well. But again, with that monthly flying star, it does tend to start bringing in some other energy that can be a little bit difficult. So again, if you'd like those compass dials, go ahead and go to freecompassdial.com. I really want you to start getting ready for the Metal Ox, which is coming February 3rd of next year. So we're using the annual energies to make quick changes. There's so many different levels of Feng Shui. There's long-term, short-term, there's Huangkong Duagua, there's the Flying Star, there's so many different levels that we can address the space. And so what we want to do is we really want to get that floor plan and get ready for our next step. We've got so many changes that are happening right now that we know for certainty that are going to happen. And the best way that I can prepare you is start using the energy immediately, so you can start shifting from a challenging to a more open way of showing up in the world, so that when the energies come in for next year, you're already going to be set up. You're just going to have to put on those new dials and then start using the space in a different way, because all of these energies, the flying star that I told you about, the Feng Shui dial, all of those are going to shift into different positions. So you want to get ready to make your miracles happen by using your space. Okay. All right. So then I want to talk about the TimeBlazr. The TimeBlazr is my proprietary timing calendar, and this is just a screenshot of a very massive software that's personalized to each and every person. And if you would like a 30-day trial to try out some good days and times for yourself, for your important launches and things like that, go to free30timetrial.com. Again, those links are below. Every single week, Tuesdays, I do what's called a TimeBlazr Tuesday. It's a week of planning with the TimeBlazr. And so what I'd like you to do is go ahead and download that calendar. There's no credit card required at the time of this recording anyway, so that you can go ahead and grab your 30 days to help you take your business and your personal life to the next level. And then follow along with me each and every week so you can do your week planning. When you start getting more into that vibration of planning ahead, the less apt you are going to get blinded by the universe or your own undoing because you haven't planned it out. Chinese metaphysics is a repeatable pattern, so we know when things are going to happen. That's why it's better to prepare ahead of time versus, oh my gosh, what the heck just happened? I had, I don't know, certain clients that I was working with, and they all just disappeared. Well, what's your next move then? What's plan B? This will help you put into place plan A, plan B, etc., in a step-by-step way, so that you have real groundedness on what is going to be happening next. All right. Then the last thing that I want to tell you for today is we are working diligently right now preparing for the annual event of the Metal Ox, which is going to be January 16th and 17th of 2021. It's going to be completely live streamed, 11 to 5 every day, maybe a little bit shorter on the next day. And the link below is bit.ly/Metal Ox, and that's all lowercase. So like I said, why I'm doing this now is help you get back on track as quickly as possible, and then you're going to be ready to really rock and roll next year when the time comes. Now, there is already a lot of disruption that is happening, and there's a lot of opportunities here. So really my biggest hope is that you take this information, use it as quickly as possible so you can, because Feng Shui happens very fast. If you trigger it the right way, you are going to have miraculous outcomes. So, okay, that is it for today. We will see you tomorrow. We will finish up the entire grid by talking about the East, and we will kind of just do a quick review of the entire month. So we'll see you tomorrow, and have an amazing day. Okay, thanks for tuning in.